with a record of 1 win and no losses, fighting out of Hybrid, Las Vegas, Nevada, Aaron Keith. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner with a record of 1 win and no losses, fighting out of Carlson, Gracie, right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Dain. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is the one and only Chris Tyone.
3 2-minute rounds. We are set to go. Aaron Keith is wearing the straight black trunks. Dain Hans is wearing the black trunks with the white and the green. And instantly, these two middleweights are slugging it out. Wow, what a furious pace. Aaron Keith looking for that takedown. Dain Hans trying to avoid it.
Holding on to that single, looking for the trip. Doesn't quite get it, but kind
Powers
of falls
through.
into a takedown.
Dain Hans trying to get back up. Successful.
Oh.
Eats a big right hand from Aaron Keith in the process. Dain Hans just wanting to slug it out in the center of the cage. We are just over 30 seconds into round number 1. Aaron Keith looking for another takedown.
It's interesting with the success that Keith's having on his feet that he continues to go for these takedowns, but Hans doesn't really seem like he has any intentions of wanting to keep this fight on the ground.
Now, even though Dain Hans has eaten a couple of big punches, he just wants to stand there and slug it out. Question is, can he keep this pace going?
Got about a minute left in this first round. And again, even no, doesn't look like he has any
Neither of them seem to be focusing on defense whatsoever. It's really all offense.
Right.
And Aaron Keith gets the takedown this time. He's got the back.
Well,
and he is throwing some big punches. He's inside control. Back in half guard now. Remains in top position for Aaron Keith.
As I said that, Hans, as he went for the takedown, kind of got reversed there by Keith.
Final 10 here of round number 1. Aaron Keith in top position. Sneaking a couple of good shots through, including that one right there. That's the end of round number 1.
Wow. Very exciting fight.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that it was going to be exciting based off of the style of Dain Hans, that he likes to come out and throw a lot of punches and throw them in short order, but Aaron Keith does not seem to mind throwing a lot of punches in short order as well. Very exciting round number 1. Question is, can they sustain this pace as they go into rounds number 2 and round number 3? Even after the first minute had passed in that bout, they seem to be slowing down just a little bit. So, can they continue that pace or not? We'll find out here.
A very intense pace that was set, and a lot of damage.
Man. It's exciting.
A lot of damage taken by both fighters in that first round. I don't know how to score it there. Maybe to Hans there at the end because he finished in a dominant position.
No.
Keith in the dominant
Aaron
position.
Keith ended up in the top position, and I agree with you there that Aaron Keith takes round number 1 because he was able to remain in dominant position when it went to the ground. It was too much of a back and forth when they were on the feet, so I think that what happened on the ground is going to be telling for round number 1. Here we go with round number 2, though. I would not be surprised at all if this round or if this fight does not make it to the judges' scorecards.
Reaching out to his back pocket. Little bloodied is Hans. And just throwing big rights.
Dain Hans goes for a takedown, ends up in kind of a precarious position there where Aaron Keith almost has his back and does. Secures the back, ends up in side control. And Aaron Keith once again in top position.
Yeah, Hans hasn't had much success with the takedowns. Both times he's attempted a takedown, he's ended up on his back.
Again, Aaron Keith, who's in top position here, specifically said that the one thing he has been doing to get ready for this fight is cardio.
And you can see Hans' nose is wide open right now. Quite a bit of blood being smeared around. You can see it on the side of Keith right there as Keith takes Hans back, flips him over. Is he going to look for a submission or is he going to pound it out?
Well, he's only got about 50 seconds left to try to figure out what he's going to do, but it appears that he is looking for that submission. Question is, can he get that arm underneath that neck? Dain Hans does have his arms riding high, which makes it difficult to sneak that arm underneath that shin. But either way, he is clearly losing this round. And there you go, Aaron Keith back in full mount. Question is, how many punches can he sneak through? And will they be significant enough for the referee to consider stepping in and stopping the action? Just about 20 seconds left here in this second round.
I just don't know if Han has the energy to get out of there.
Coming to the end of round number 2, looks like Aaron Keith going to log another dominant round here as it comes to an end. And whether or not round number 1 went in the favor of Aaron Keith, I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, round number 2 certainly did. And Dain Hans is actually stumbling back to his stool right now.
Gives a thumbs up to his corner. The commission's there checking closely. Working on his nose right now, trying to get that bleeding to stop in between rounds.
That's the thing, is that if you're the corner of Dain Hans, I don't really even know what to tell him at this point, because he appears to be outgunned when it is on the feet, and then when it does go to the ground, he doesn't have an answer for the ground game of Aaron Keith, and he's just being outworked right now. So
he's got to do what he did in the beginning of the first round and just go out there.
Throw some big haymakers and hope for the best. I mean, on our unofficial scorecards, we have Aaron Keith winning the fight 2 rounds to none. So in order to win this fight, Dain Hans, who you see on your screen right there, is going to have to get a finish.
And Keith seems to be, still fairly energetic with singing along to the music in between the rounds.
Third and final round. Aaron Keith is wearing the straight black trunks. Dain Hans is wearing the black trunks with the white and the green. And Hans coming out, he is firing, but he eats some big shots in the process.
Big right landed by Keith. He's off.
A huge right hand.
And a big left there, too. Han is not going out. If he's going to go out, he's going to go out fighting, and I can appreciate that at any level.
And Keith goes down. He gets stumbled. He's trying to drive through, get the takedown here, but Dain Hans does a nice job keeping it standing. If he's smart, he'll separate here, create some distance, and do exactly that. Big right hand, a second big right hand, a third, a fourth.
Keith is hurt. His nose is busted open, too.
Dude, these guys are awesome.
I just hope they don't come over near us and get a bunch of blood on us.
Whoa.
And that's it?
Whoa.
Is that it? No, is that a slip?
The referee kind of tossed him to the ground there. What is Chris Tyne? Oh,
his mouthpiece is out.
Got it. So he was trying to stop him because the mouthpiece of Aaron Keith popped out in that exchange.
Han is a little wobbly.
They're both a little wobbly right now.
Well, Keith's got his hands on his knees. I don't know. I've never really seen anything like this.
And time back in.
Boo birds.
Yeah, well,
are out.
He's looking for the backhand.
It wasn't telegraphing that at all.
Not even
but these guys are going at it. Oh, man, I love this.
Oh, this is such a great fight. I mean, it's such an awful fight, but it's such a great fight.
It's so great.
This is wildly entertaining. This is what Tuff-N-Uff is all about. 2 hungry young
big
fighters
uppercuts.
Slugging it out. Wow. Connecting again. Can Dain Hans pull this off? Aaron Keith wisely goes for the takedown, and he gets it. I have no idea how much time is left because of that awkward non-timeout timeout from the referee.
I don't know.
Even the timekeeper seems to be a little bit confused right now. I don't know what's happening.
Han is just beating away on Keith's side right now. I mean,
and
wow.
It looks like we may be coming down to the final 10 seconds. Yes, okay, here we go. Down to the final 10 seconds. Aaron Keith remains in top position, but looks partially knocked out. I mean, what an awesome fight.
2 warriors.
I mean, Dain Hans was not kidding about his fighting style being Spartan fighting style.
I just looked into the eyes of Han right there. He looks a little glassy, so does Keith. I think both of these guys took a lot of damage in this fight, and the fact that neither one of them actually went out. And you can see that that Keith's in quite a bit of pain as he sits down right now.
Yeah, his corner told him to put his hands up and run around the ring, and he put an arm up and then said, I'm going to sit down instead.
I'm going to hang out right here for a minute.
I'm just really tired, and rightfully so. I mean, you
Big
see that
right.
big right hand, and then Hans comes back in with one of his own, crack right there.
Oh, right behind the head, right behind the ear on the back of the
Ball
head.
face, another right hand, left hand connects a bit. I mean, just back and forth they went. That third round was one of the most entertaining 2-minute rounds that I've seen in Tuff-N-Uff in quite some time. These two just slugging it out, and the fact that both of them had the wherewithal to hang in there for that full 2 minutes, that must have felt like an eternity.
I think Keith probably won the fight, but I think Han could have taken that last round on some of the judges' scorecards, but it's hard to say with that awkward pause there. I don't know if that was a knockdown, if that was a slip, what really happened. It was weird.
I'm going to give that third round to Chris Tione, the referee.
Yes.
That was the best
Tione
takedown
with a
of the
knockout.
fight. Here we go with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round slugfest, we have your winner by split decision, Aaron Keith.
I think they got that right. You know, it's interesting to see some of the scoring tonight, but I guess one of the judges here tonight gave Dain Han that first round.
Okay. Either way, they ended up getting it right. At least 2 out of the 3 judges appear to be scoring things correctly this evening. Aaron Keith wins that fight, rightfully so, although hats off to Dain Hans. An incredible performance. What a fun fight. As we continue here at Tuff-N-Uff, the light heavyweights coming up next.